What a going guys, welcome to EKKI Media. Keep it locked, and this is your girl Latoya Dali.
It's EQ Live every Friday at 7. To miss is to diss. Remember, the king lion say that.
What a going guys, welcome to EKKI Media. Keep it locked, and this is your girl Latoya Dali.
It's EQ Live every Friday at 7. To miss is to diss. Remember, the king lion say that.
What a going guys, welcome to EKKI Media. Keep it locked, and this is your girl Latoya Dali.
It's EQ Live every Friday at 7. To miss is to diss. Remember, the king lion say that.
What a going guys, welcome to EKKI Media. Keep it locked, and this is What a going guys, welcome to EKKI Media. Keep it locked, and this is your girl Latoya Dali.
It's EQ Live every Friday at 7. To miss is to diss. Remember, the king lion say that.
What a going guys, welcome to EKKI Media. Keep it locked, and this is your girl Latoya Dali.
It's EQ Live every Friday at 7. To miss is to diss. Remember, the king lion say that.
What a going guys, welcome to EKKI Media. Keep it locked, and this is your girl Latoya Dali.
It's EQ Live every Friday at 7. To miss is to diss. Remember, the king lion say that.
What a going guys, welcome to EKKI Media. Keep it locked, and this is your girl Latoya Dali.
It's EQ Live every Friday at 7. To miss is to diss.
Buddy, here we go.
Remember, the king lion say that.
Roast, Yeah, buddy. Wolan. Hey, everybody. Thank you for coming. Would appreciate everyone. All right. Here we go. Another day. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Yeah. Big up yourself. Want to welcome everybody. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. It's a good day. Man, Texas is hot. Yeah, we bonding up here. See how I'm sweating? Yeah, it is so hot. Thank God it's Friday, guys. I appreciate you all. Thank you for coming already. Can you hear me, guys? All right. All right. I want to welcome everyone. Thank you for coming. I don't know if you can hear me. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Nobody can hear that. All over to the top. Oh Lord, this StreamYard is giving me a hard time. All right, can you hear me now? When I'm playing the music, it's not doing it. Yeah. All right, can you hear me now? Check. 1, 2. Yeah. All right, we got 30 people, 37. Anybody can hear me? No audio. All right. How about now? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Check. 1, 2. Check. 1, 2. Check. 1, 2. Can you hear me? All right, let me do this one more time. I don't know what's going on, but listen to this.
What up, guys? Welcome to EKKI Media. Keep it locked, and this is your girl Latoya Dali.
It's EQ Live every Friday at 7. To miss is to diss. Remember, the King Lion say that.
You better show up. You better share the live stream, or the baddest Lati and the lion himself. They're gonna come and chew you up. They're gonna chew you up. You better show. We got 37 million people in the bush. And guys, please remember we have special guests tonight, Jason and Gina. So guys, we're gonna try keep it like clean, respectful, as we always do. You understand? Keep it clean, keep it respectful, and never forget in this community. Sometimes we might joke. We joke in this community, but we joke this respectfully. Okay, so remember to abide by the rules, be respectful, and all that. We joke and everything. It's all welcome. So I'm gonna drop the link so we can have our guests coming up. And let me drop the link right there. So there is the link. I have dropped the link and already. Yeah, so remember when we come in, we gotta be respectful. We do unto others as you would want them to do unto you. So we can joke, we can do all that, but we do it respectfully. So I want to give a shout out to everybody. Jason say coming soon. And then let's see what you got in the building. I'm gonna be trying to look up here in the chat as we do this. Shout out. Jason say give us 5 minutes, and just as hey Miss Sway. Hey, ladies and gents, without further ado, I'm about to introduce to you to one of the baddest, sweetest, meanest co-hosts from Jamaica. You don't know, I don't even.
What up, guys? Welcome to EKKI Media. Keep it locked, and this is your girl Latoya Dali.
Give it up, Latoya Dali.
Hey, EK. Hi, everybody. What's up, EK?
Hey.
What's up, everybody?
It's about to get hot in here.
Yeah.
Turn on your
How
AC
you doing,
it's about
Lati?
to get hot in here.
I'm good. How about you?
Hey. And we gotta
Turn on your
give
AC because it's about to get
Lati
hot in here.
Shakbas. Clap. Welcome, Lati. Welcome, Lati. Big up yourself.
Big up yourself to EK. Hey, K. Hey, Tom, man. Hey, Miss Sway. Good night, everybody.
All right, Lati. So I'm gonna put Lati on a solo layout so she can introduce herself. You all know, you don't, she don't. Yeah, let's
Yeah,
go,
I
Lati,
know.
Dolly, and then introduce yourself and what you do. Let's go.
Hi, everybody. You don't know it's your girl Latoya Dali. What's up? Good night, peeps. I hope tonight will be a good night. So, you know, my channel is all about Jamaican cooking up them Jamaican food. If you're looking to grow your channel, my channel is the place to be. And I won't be on tomorrow, so I can't say see you guys tomorrow, but see you Monday. And EK, thanks for having me. What's your Lati? But you'll allow me. EK, I'm finished. Please say me I'm so early out. I can't manage Patula today.
Already, big up yourself, Lati. Thank you for
Big
coming.
up yourself too, EK.
Always a pleasure, always an honor. Hey, ladies and gents, listen to this.
Always
listen
my
to this.
pleasure being here
Listen to
too.
this. Listen to this.
Turn on your AC because it's about to get hot in here. 3, 2, 1. Just kidding. 3, 2, 1. Just kidding.
Is everything okay, EK?
Yeah. So we waiting for Jason and Gina, and as we wait for them, as we wait for Jason and Gina, as we wait for King Lion. King Lion is a typical African, no sir.
Always
Typical
late.
African man, always late. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think about the topic. And then meanwhile, I want to give a shout out to everybody. I haven't seen Miss Way for a long time. We got Didi's in the building. Didi's the troublemaker. Big up yourself, Didi's K Vibes. By the way, if you don't know K Vibes, that is Good Vibes K channel right there. And we got Tallman in the building. Yeah. All right, Jason and Gina. Yeah, you just go to the link. Just click on it. Yeah, and then you do your name and then you enter. Yeah. Already. So Patila in the building. Big up yourself. Let me turn the tune up. Let me turn the. Can you hear the song?
Yeah, I hear this song.
Hey, hey.
Let's love your shirt. Thank you, Tallman.
Big up yourself, everybody. Thanks for coming. Ike Lomi. And we got William. That is Tallman TV say chaos. And then Didi say, hey, Listy Patila. What you know? What you go? Hey, Takeda's way. Hey, slow and easy. What? Welcome to EKKI Media. Hii ni channel yangu maze. Kijana wa kutoka Kanairo. Sai wamenichukua Jamaica maze. Wakisikia jina Ike. Hawatakuwa mbwangi kama nehe. Wanafikiri Ike ni jamaa wa Jamaica. Lakini karibuni kwa Ike. Latoya Dali, Lion King himself, the late comer. Hey, ladies and gents, hold on. They gotta pull that back. Pull up. Hey, we gotta do this. We got our special guest in the background. It's an honor. It's a pleasure. You guys, man, this is the most beautiful fun. And you know they love and support. Yo. Hold on. Yeah, before they come, because it's about here. That's why I think this is here. Before. Let me tell you why I'm about to introduce it.
Turn on your AC because it's about to get hot in here. 3, 2, 1.
Let me.
Just kidding.
I'm gonna put them on solo layout. Without further ado, we're gonna give an applause. We're gonna welcome Jason and Gina.
Hey guys.
What's up, guys?
Hi, Jason. Hi, Gina. Hi,
Hey,
Hey.
what, Jason? Let's go, Jason. Let's go.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey.
Okay, should I use the camera this way since you're using 3 different screens or 4 screens, or what you think?
Yeah, just what I want you guys to introduce yourself.
Yes, guys. This is Jason from Jason and Gina. You see my partner over there, Gina, but she'll be right back. Thank you guys for coming to EK. Bless you, EK, for having us. We appreciate it, truly. Latoya, how you doing? Foxy Brown?
Good. I'm doing good, bro.
Bad breed.
So, Jason,
Bad breed.
tell us about your channel, bro. What you do in your channel and
On our
your
channel,
stuff.
we do a variety of things. We like to cook. We like to travel. Regular vlogging. You know, Gina likes to talk a lot, so you know.
Anyway,
Yeah, there's the Latoya twin sister.
We just like to do a variety of things, you know, just touch
There's
bases on
the other Brazilian parrot. Brazilian parrot. I mean,
I'm not feeling that great today, guys, so forgive me, but I'm still here.
Tell them who you are.
Oh, I'm Gina. Everybody knows I'm Gina. I'm coming down with a little something. I don't know what's going on, but I am here. Thank you for inviting us, EK. Hey, beautiful Toya. Hey, you family. It's good to be here.
Thank you for coming, Jason. You know,
Thank
I
you for
appreciate
having
you
us,
guys,
brother.
Gina.
Big
Love
up,
you guys.
EK.
Appreciate you, and thank you for coming, man. So you all see the topic right there. You all seen the topic. So we're gonna be talking about that. So we got on the screen EKKI Media, Lati Darling, and then we got Jason and Gina.
Yes.
Family
Hey, Slay.
international.
Yeah.
This is international here, Kenya, Jamaica, and New York. Brooklyn.
New York.
Brooklyn. Yeah.
Brooklyn.
Welcome, big of yourself. So first of all, let me not make a lot of noise. Let me know New York. Yeah, let me not make a lot of noise. So, Jason and Gina, we're honored to have you, and thank you for coming. I know it was short notice.
We appreciate it.
Now, what do you think about the topic? At least you have your better half here, and I like you guys. I like your vibe. It's so interesting. I like your vibe. So, what do you think about the topic? Like, we're gonna be like, just Jason go first, because if we let Gina go.
Well, I mean, I'm sure.
We gotta let women go first,
Ladies first.
I think that a lot of people have been in toxic relationships. I mean, I know I have. I was involved in a very toxic relationship, and I think a lot of people don't talk about it because of shame,
stigma.
Shame, not wanting anybody else to know. Like in my situation, my family had no idea what I was going through. And I worked very hard to mask a lot of the things that was happening. And I think sometimes it stems back to a very high emotional manipulation. Normalized abuse. This is the way it's supposed to be. Financial dependency. And also for me, I guess, speaking for myself, working in the social services field, I think you kind of feel the need to try to save this person, or maybe you can help them.
Everyone can't be saved.
Right. So low self-esteem. I think there's a variety of reasons why people stay. Of course, children. For a lot of women that I know who have been in that situation, they stay because they have children. I was one of those women. You have a child with someone, you want to make the relationship work. And so, you end up falling into that hole of abuse, disrespect. And it's hard. It's not just easy to get up and just walk away sometimes, as people from the outside looking in might think.
So I'm gonna put the chat back on the TV so that at least we can read it.
EK, nobody hearing you. You're mute, EK.
Oh, I like to mute my mic. I always like to mute the mic when somebody's talking. So, Gina, you touched on several things that I always have them on my. First of all, you talked about emotional abuse, and you talked about financial dependency, and you also talk about children. I know children apply mostly when you married, in Africa, children is not a problem. You can get a million children and just walk away. There's no child support, there's nothing. That's Africa and other countries. But in the United States, that's you'd rather suck, just humble yourself and stay until now. Can you explain on the female? Then we'll come to Jason as a man. On the female, you as a female, like you talk about financial dependence. This is America. You can get your own job. You can make your own money. You can you don't really need. You can make it by you can do bad by yourself here. Yeah. Can you talk to us on the female side on when you say financial dependency, because we women work here, they work here, their jobs everywhere, and they tend to get better jobs sometimes more than they do. So can you as a lady,
elaborate?
can you talk to
Well,
us?
when I say financial dependency, I've always had a job, but it's hard when you're by yourself. You have childcare, you have bills, you have rent, you have to buy food, you have to take care of everything. So when it's a relationship and someone lives with you and they're contributing half to all of the things that I mentioned, it's a very scary feeling to think that, okay, if this person walks away, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
My rent is $2,000. I only got $1,000. Where am I going to live? And again, two incomes. Being with someone, it's like I've been with Jason for 19 years. If he just walked 19, and I could only, if he just walked away.
Pull up. Hold on. Let me give you this. You say what? Let me give it. I gotta hold on. I gotta give you this. Hold on. You say what? How many years? Where's the
Been
club?
together 19 years, EK.
Where's the club?
Me, I've been through a lot. Nah, but I love her.
19 years.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Finish up.
And then, it becomes a routine. It's a routine. I'm speaking for my situation. You have someone there to help you pay bills, take care of household expenses. So it's a very scary feeling when that person leaves. What are you going to do? And also, it's a fear of just being alone, when you're so used to having someone there with you.
Mm-hmm. So you're really hitting all my points. All your points are getting home. So you basically said everything I said. I think number one is the fear of being alone. In 19 years, you've been with this dude, right? They say better the devil you know than the angel you don't know. You understand? Right. So starting over with an angel, and then the angel turns into a devil that you don't know, then it's like, so I think, as you say, number one, like the fear of being alone and also starting over.
Yes.
The investment you invested in this Burberry, it's not easy. It's an investment.
Yes, it is.
And so I think you hit those points. Financial okay, maybe people in Africa don't understand. In America or in even in Europe, when you get a child, it's not just like how we do back home. And the child will just grow. The community can help you with the child or your relative or whatever. It's easy to hire a house girl, a house help. It's easy to hire house help. It's easy to hire people. It's easy, but here it is very expensive. One kid can take all your paycheck for 2 weeks. So if you have 2 children, that's all your paycheck for the month. You see? So the system here is set in a way they want to make sure you stay together, whether you like it or not. or if you end up the relationship might end up having to get somebody because it is almost so. And then you also talked about manipulation. Talk about manipulation. What do you mean when you say manipulation? I don't know, want Jason to talk about it, or you want to go and talk about it, Jason?
Gina likes to talk, so you know.
Jason don't say much. Anyway, I mean, when I say manipulation,
I'm still gonna come get you, Jason.
Like, you know, making a person feel like.
Go ahead. Talk about when you say manipulation. What do you mean manipulation?
Like manipulating a woman to thinking that, oh, it's her fault. You know, maybe she said something, or maybe you guys were in the company of another man and he may have felt like she gave him the eye or she was flirting with him. You know, and my relationship at the time, there were times when things happened and I'm sitting there like, what are you talking about? Like, no, I didn't do that. But then after a while, it's funny how you start to actually believe that. Like, well, maybe I did say something wrong. Maybe I was too friendly with him. You know, even if you're hanging out with your girlfriends, you know, someone may make you feel guilty because maybe you did stay out too late, or you had such a good time and he wasn't there. You know, just manipulating you to feel like if he slapped you across the face, somehow, some way, you deserve that.
Right.
You know, and it's your fault. You're the reason why he did that.
Carter's way, yes, it is very expensive.
You know, you made him feel that way. You know, I used to be told that you're the reason why I did that. And I'm like, no one can force your hand. You know, even when infidelity comes into play, you know, manipulating a woman or a man into making them think that, well, you know, I cheated on you because you weren't giving me what I needed, or you weren't making me happy, instead of just having a conversation and us trying to work through those problems. So, you know, manipulation comes in a lot of forms. You know, sometimes there's even good manipulation where he'll start buying you things, you know, and, you know, showering you with gifts to make up for the toxic behavior or the abuse. So, you know, I've experienced both. I've experienced good manipulation and bad manipulation, but it all leads to that toxic level in the relationship, to me.
Mm-hmm.
So, how about, because I know, you know, ladies are emotional beings, right? Like they always say when you go for counseling, they tell the ladies to feed the man's ego, right? You feed the man's ego, make him feel like he is on top of the world. And then they always counsel you as a man to feed a lady's emotions. You understand? That's why even the scripture says, husband, love your wives. Love is emotion and affection. And the women, the scripture tells them to honor their husband. That means feed your man's ego, make them feel like, you know, they're on top of the world. And what you're saying, talking about manipulation, it looks like you're saying it's mostly emotional and mental. Because I know sometimes it can be. I've seen a lot of, because I've been in the counseling field where women get manipulated, mostly if the guy is their first love. You see, if it's their first man, their first love, it's the only man they know, they don't know anything else, they can really work them bad emotionally. Hold on, let me welcome. We gotta give this guy King Lion today. You gotta put a super chat for $50. We can't wait. How long has it been? 30 minutes late. This guy gotta be fine, man.
King Lion.
Always late. Always late. And we had a meeting before the meeting. King Lion. No, sir. You're making Jamaica look bad, eh? All right. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome King Lion on the screen. Big up yourself, King Lion. And he's hiding the camera. You see that? Welcome, King Lion. Introduce yourself, King Lion.
Yo, my take just ever said. Give me the EK, my try, man. My try very hard. Fell asleep, man. I wake up back late.
He's still asleep.
Big up King Lion.
Hey, King Lion.
Hey, I'm
Hey, big
Oh,
bro.
Lord.
Hey, Diana
Hey, big
Ross.
bro. What's up? What's up, big bro?
This is
That's
the
your
real
EK
African, man.
and the famous Jason and Gina. I think it should be Gina and Jason.
Exactly. We always saying that. Gina
All
and
right.
Jason.
We're coming off topic now, guys. We're coming off topic.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you're right. Let's go back to the topic.
Okay.
Let's go
Tassie,
back
all
to
right.
Gina.
Yeah,
That's for
yeah,
another
Gina.
Friday.
So
yeah.
how about the men? We gotta talk because it's not only the women, it's not only the men who get manipulated, because the women also manipulate the men. You understand? The women also manipulate the men. And you see, like, I don't know, but I know I've been there and I know what I'm talking about. You see, so Jason,
Yes,
what
sir.
is your take?
What
What is your take?
on exactly toxic relationships?
Does Gina sometimes lock you out? Like, go back where you came from.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that was in the beginning.
Yeah. I mean, I'm being honest. I feel like every relationship has a little bit of toxic in it.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. It depends on the level.
It makes the bond
of
stronger.
the toxic relationship. We've all been in relationships where, some things have happened. But I just feel like when it comes to the point where
You
it's
can't cross that line.
right, where
of
it's
disrespect.
it's physical, and that emotional abuse, because society normalizes bad behavior. So sometimes some people may not even realize that they're in a toxic relationship.
And because you cheated, my daughter was placed.
See, for me, I could say before I got with Gina.
Somebody has another. Can somebody mute? I think there's a stream playing. Gina, you have a TV playing?
No.
That was
somebody has another.
You good now?
playing.
We good.
Okay, so let's talk about. You say you talked about. How about threat of violence?
Violence?
Because
No.
I've been in relationships before where somebody would say, if you move on, you will never have this. I'm gonna troll you. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna mash up. And we're living in a really bad world right now because we are in social media. We are everywhere. Yeah, and these people, you will close one ninja, they open another one. You'll close one, this, they open another one. They'll close, they will drive you crazy. Do you think that contributes also in our present time for people staying in a relationship? Like, like there's the fear of the repercussion, like what this person is gonna do. I think you're on mute. Lati, what's your?
I didn't even know he
take?
muted it. Sorry. Why did you even mute it?
Okay.
You didn't tell me.
Okay. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
I mean, of course, look at the alarming rate of women that are being murdered every single day because they choose to walk away from a toxic or abusive relationship. I was just watching a story the other day. I was at work. I was bored. I was watching something on YouTube. I can't remember exactly what it was, but there was a young lady who was in a very abusive relationship. There was no physical abuse in the relationship, but there was a lot of emotional abuse. And long story short, she chose to walk away. She found someone else. She was pregnant by this guy. And this person in particular was her ex-husband. And they had been separated for, I think, more than 5 years. And he tracked her down and he found her, went to her house, shot her 7 times in the head and killed the boyfriend. And mind you, this is years later that they parted ways. They had a child together.
I saw that story.
Right. Mm-hmm. You saw that. So they had a child together. Mm-hmm. The family was shocked because he had never displayed that level of violence, And I think sometimes it comes to the point of that person might not even want to be with you, but they just don't want to see you happy with someone else.
Exactly. You like your happiness, seeing you happy depresses them. It's like their joy is to see you stressed out. Their happiness is to see you depressed. Their happiness is when you're not doing well. That's when they feel, yeah, that's where you're supposed to be. So when you mentioned something that's really important, and I always like to tell people this.
Like Fatila just
If you
said,
ever get in a relationship and that guy or that woman isolates you from your friends or from your family, that's a very dangerous flag. If a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a wife or they isolate you from your close friends, that she is the only one you need, or you are the that is a very dangerous flag. Because don't forget, sometimes your friends and your family can be your greatest support when you're going through toxic relationship. You understand? And these people, manipulators know. They know. They will manipulate you. They will try to isolate you from all your friends, anybody who can give you sober advice. And I always tell people, if you ever get in a relationship with a man or a woman is trying to isolate you from all the people that have been with you, that's a red flag. That's our big, because those friends, you'll always fall back to them. You will always, when you need support, when you need salt, when you need, hey, I'm going for vacation, like you guys came from vacation. If you still sorry for your pet, you lost your pet, you would
Thank you,
have a
EK.
friend. You'd have a friend. I'm so
bless
sorry
up
for that.
yourself, Patilla, for the super chat. EK,
Oh,
Big up Patilla. Big up, big up.
yourself, Patilla. Right, yourself.
Patilla. Whoa, thank you for the super chat. Hey, Lati, can
Big
you
up
give
yourself,
Patilla for the
Patilla. Right,
super chat?
yourself.
Man, big up yourself, Patilla. Patilla. What? Oh, let me see. Where is the shout out for Patilla? Let me give let me thank you for the super chat. You know, Jason and Gina, I tell people also, the fact that we're in America, it doesn't mean we appreciate super chat. You know?
100%.
That counts. People think, oh, because you guys are in America, you don't need it. Sow a seed. Your blessing, and it comes back to you. You see?
Exactly.
It's not that we don't need it; we just don't ask. But
no, people think we don't need it,
Right.
because we are here. But hey,
Yeah, people think we're rich. Yeah, no, not at all.
I wish.
Hey, Patilla, bless up yourself, Patilla. Thank you. Blessing, Patilla. All right. So what I was saying is the super chat lost my train of thoughts. So you guys, you went on a vacation and everything and all that, but I look at your vibe, like it is for me, it is nice to watch. I'm like Jason, there's it is. I don't know even what to say. You see, so it's a blessing, and I'm really grateful for you guys. I watch you, and I'm like, wow, okay. If you ever tried that with some people, be open like that, you'll be trouble. You'll be trouble. So let's talk about manipulation. What I say, you meet this guy, he loves you. He's like, no, you can't do this. Oh, they even isolate you from church. You see, don't go to church. You gotta come to my church. You gotta do this. You have to isolate everything you know. They don't want to visit your family. They don't want to. They just want us to be us. You see what I'm saying? If you go like on a vacation, it's like you can't leave my sight. You gotta stay here. You can't leave the floor. You can't. You can't talk to anybody else.
No.
So
we've been together.
Let me say in Swahili, they say when you get married in Swahili, you say ni pingu za maisha. It means like you're handcuffed for life. You're handcuffed. That means you're a prisoner. No, I mean, I don't know what to say about you guys, but what I'm saying, manipulation. If you used to be with Jason and Gina and Lati, Misway, Patila, your support group, they're not good for you. They're like, oh yeah, they're going to destroy our relationship. They're not for us. And mostly ladies, because they're emotional. Ladies are emotional, ladies are emotional. Yeah. EK, look at his EK chest. Yeah. What? Oh, look at EK. EK is buying me this. EK is taking me. And then you isolate everybody. The time I'll start abusing you, you've already broken all the communication, all the friendship. You've already, your family, your friends, you'll even be ashamed to call Latoya Gina. Because you're like, oh yeah, where's your dude now? That's what you're talking about, manipulation. So let me let everybody else talk. So let's hear from Lati or Jason or whoever has something to say about what Gina just said.
I'm coming up after Toya.
As for me, Gina eats all the tea, and that's her high because it's the same thing. The manipulation, and you stick around because of kids. You don't want to be alone. And so Gina crossed all her T's and dot all the I's, because that was my point or my take to it. Too toxic. You're staying longer because of kids most of the time.
So Lati, from your experience, you're saying because of children. Can you at least elaborate a little bit when you say because of children?
As Gina was using herself, I stayed because of my daughter. Because I go up without my dad around. And I know how it is, so I did not want to rob her.
Okay, hold on. Let me say, you say you grew up without your
my
mom
dad,
around.
not in the household. My dad
Your mom
was
or
there,
your dad?
My dad. Remember,
Okay.
I grew up with my mom for a period. So it was more, I grew around mostly female. Only my eldest brother was big enough. So I go up without my dad. So I didn't want that for my daughter. So I stayed longer because of her. But you get to the point that I had to leave for me. So we stay because of different reasons.
So what you're saying, in the past, in your childhood, you went through this experience, and as a child, and that's childhood trauma. That's what my brother talks about, because that's something you went through as a child. It traumatized you, and you don't want to
It wasn't really trauma.
Now you want it different for your daughter.
Yeah, it wasn't really trauma. It wasn't really trauma for me because I know my dad. My dad was just not present in the household. but he was there. So because I did not have that growing up, I wanted that for my daughter so she could have both parents under one roof. But it reached another point where I had to leave for me.
So when you got your baby and your, I don't know, it's a husband. Oh yeah. So you stayed in the relationship because you wanted your child to make sure she has a present daddy.
That's right. Under one
So
roof.
and that's what I'm asking.
Mhm.
We're asking the question. So you stay in it, it's toxic, but you still want your child to have the father in their life.
Right. Exactly.
So you sacrifice happiness, you sacrifice everything else, peace of mind,
Right.
emotional,
And
like
then the
mental health.
manipulation comes in because for my daughter, dad, he did not grow up with his dad present. So
Mm.
no, he used that as we did not grow up with our dad present. So he used to use that and guilt trip me like, okay, we did not have our dad growing up, so let's work it out for the sake of our child to have both parents growing up. So I end up staying because of that. I end up staying too long.
So you endured you sound like you endured a lot of manipulation,
Yep.
emotional, and because you're trying to
Gaslighting,
make it good for your child, so she doesn't
gaslighting
have to
too.
go experience. So,
Right.
because and what was the drive that gave you the strength to decide, okay, this is it?
I
Because I know
guess
a lot of
so.
women and even men were scared because, okay, if I leave, I'm gonna start all over again. If I leave, I've invested so much time with this guy. If I leave, yeah.
I guess over time of the same thing keep on occurring over and over and over again. It's going to be that one thing that is going to break the camel back. Just one thing, that one thing going to break the camel back. Like for me,
Hmm.
this person would keep on doing something. I want to go get into it, keep doing something. Some I know about, some I don't know about. And it reached the point like I see some things and I said, if this is the case and I have concrete proof that you are doing this, I am not staying. I with all the manipulation, the gaslighting, the guilt trip, and the blame game. I was just looking for that one thing to let go. And
Hmm.
that one thing happened, so it was no time like I have to look for me now. Yep,
Right on.
right on.
So there's something Gina mentioned about financial independence, right? Did you ever like were you dependent on this
No,
guy financial or like,
no,
that's
no,
why maybe no, you
no.
would
I
take
wasn't
it up
depending
just
on him, no.
so did you
And when you
stay maybe
have
because he supports the family? I know
no,
Jamaica and America is different.
no.
So
And when you
like
have
were you
kids,
dependent on this guy?
when you have kids and they're growing up, and I can remember my daughter look at me and say, "Oh my God, you guys are so toxic." Like that was enough too. Because if she reached, and I mean, she may be around 10, and she was
Mhm.
like, "You guys are toxic." Like, then you know it's time to let go. It's
Hold on,
time to
hold on,
go.
hold on, hold on. Your daughter is 10 years old.
And she know.
Okay,
She's
guys,
still the toxic. Yep.
note what Lati said. Because parents, we can be so toxic. We think
The
like
kids are
Jason and
not
Gina, you
serious.
see how people cuss here, like the F this is like everywhere. Because parents, when they fight, they doing all these things, right? And Lati saying the daughter when she was 10, she was like, she's the same, she's the one who's like in the right mind. Like you guys are being toxic.
So when you think your kids are too young and they don't understand, they see what is happening, and you think they don't realize they do know what is happening. They do know. So when you think they are small, they don't understand what is going on. They know what is happening. And a lot of times we sacrifice our happiness for our kids, but at the end of the day, our happiness comes first. If you want to troll me, you troll me. And most of the time, your ex will troll you when they think you're happy, your mood. They think you couldn't be without them. You can't live without them. They are your happiness. So when you move on, they tend to want to troll you, as you said before. But as long as you explain to that person you're with, or if you're getting with somebody and you know that person is going to troll you, just level with that person. Like, this is what it is, and I think you will be good to go, because we all know there are crazy exes out there. They don't want to see you happy. If you're by yourself, you are okay in their eyes. But the moment you move on with someone else and they think you're happy, that's when they start to stalk you, troll you, like you said before, EK, because they just don't want to see you happy without them, because they think they are your main they are your main source of happiness. So you can't be happy without them. That's for me. Yep.
And then also too, I think because just because you're not a good partner doesn't mean that you're not a good parent. And I had to learn
Exactly.
that I had to learn that as well. We didn't work out. Our relationship didn't work out, but it doesn't mean that you can't be an amazing parent.
Parents,
Like
right?
in my
And we do. And for me and my daughter father, we get not co-parents, but
Co-parents.
no, we don't really co-parent. He just do what he has to do for my
right,
daughter, and it works out. It works out
Okay.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
right, and then
Because my
also like, I'm sorry, Toya, go ahead, hon.
no, my daughter is old enough now, so she have a phone, so you don't have to come through me to get to her. You can
Right.
just get to her without me in the picture, me have a say to it. And it
Right.
works out. Go
And
ahead, Gina.
yeah, and then also, for me, it was, subjecting my children to that. That was the worst thing about the whole entire situation, because I have two children. And my oldest son would say to me sometimes, like, "Ma, like, aren't you tired of this? Like, when are you gonna walk away?" And I have boys, and what do boys do? They defend their mothers,
True.
Oh yeah,
you
so
know.
true.
Right. So
True.
if there was a situation, I stopped and I thought to myself, what if my son one day decided that, hey, I'm sick of you treating my mother this way, and he ends this man's life?
Because you're gonna get older.
Right. I feel responsible for that because I subjected them to that. Patilla had said something earlier when she said, she's never lived with a man. I've only lived with two men in my entire life.
I only live with one. One.
Jason and someone else. So when you are trying to create this family bond, as we age, we want to have that family. Family support is good. Like, I get a lot of support from my family, but I have a husband. So I don't really look outside of Jason for support. You understand what I mean? If I need my mom, she'll be there. My siblings, they'll be there, and friends as well. But when you're in this relationship in your home, you're going to try to work hard to make it work. You know? And sometimes you feel like, okay, maybe that's just a little flaw. We're all flawed. You know, none of us are perfect.
Yeah, no one's
right. Right. We're all flawed. So a lot of times you look at someone and say, you know, I used to hear a lot of, well, my family didn't care about me. My mother was never there for me. So you almost feel responsible for this person. You know, you don't want to abandon them. Let's say that, like everybody else did. You know, or you're just like everybody else. You're gonna walk away from me. You know,
that's that guilt trip. That's that
right. Where am I gonna go if I have to leave? You know, most of the women that I know that are in these type of relationships, they're the breadwinners. You know, they're the ones making the money. And 9 out of 10 times, a lot of them are taking care of these men too. So, you know.
And the best thing about us, she works, I work. So, you know, everything is split almost 50-50. I always put up more somehow, but it's life.
Right. And I guess some people just feel like, you know, because even after, like, say there's some form of abuse, you know, I don't know if you've experienced that, Toya, but there's always that makeup
phase. Not physical abuse, but mental abuse.
Right.
Yeah, that goes
mental. And it's good you brought that up. It's good because let me talk on that. We're living in a world like even before. You know, in America they always talk about father issues. Like we'd see, like there are those people out there praying on, like Lati said, the father was never present in her life. You understand? And a lot of young females, they've been looking for that father figure. And sometimes they fall prey. They want that male, like some in their life. You understand? There is a void. There's an emptiness in there. Even the kid, even let me say even me. Like when I was like, you know, your parents or whatever, you never had your mom there, and you always see this, like, you know, you look, oh yeah, you know, they're treating you so good, and they see that and they prey on that weakness, and then they will manipulate you. Correct me if I'm wrong. They know, and they'll go in the social media. Once they know about you, they know your background, they know this is the loophole right here. So they will start using that. They will feed you in that area. They will try and fill in the gap, the void, like you need that male figure. They will feed. I can sit here on the phone and listen to you for 20 hours because you need that male figure to talk to. And most of them actually know the one, that lady with a good account. You see what I'm saying? And they start controlling you and manipulating you. And that's something you both brought, Gina and Lati. You understand? That void, father figure in your life. And they will use it over and over and over. You feel that security that if I leave, it's gone. And you're afraid because you are left. I have a friend who told me a story, like she always used to like go to look for daddy for food, and he would just pass and leave her there standing, you see. But now you find a man who provide you what your dad didn't provide you. You're like, you know, no, I can't afford to lose this. So no matter what he does, I'll suck it up and keep my head up. That means your esteem, your self-worth, your self-value is not there. He is the one who defines you. He defines who you are. He decides your happiness. Your happiness comes from him and not from yourself. So he says you're not gonna be happy, you won't be happy. Yeah, if he's not happy, you're not happy. Even the cockroaches in your house won't be happy. Because if the mama is not happy, the rats won't be happy, the cockroaches won't be happy, the bad bugs won't be happy, all the roaches and everything won't be happy because mama is not happy, because the manipulator is not happy. So yeah, I'm just saying that's and that's a big flag for me. That's
Big chill, big up yourself.
Yeah, go ahead, Jason.
EK
Jason, you're
Genius
good.
is asking for a jacket. Genius, she's in the jacket. She's asking
What
for
do you
the
mean,
jacket.
Genius? What, yeah?
You see her, she said, where is her jacket?
Genius don't have jacket.
What's up, one?
What happened? Jason, you're good with chat. Jason, go through the chat, bro. Jason, go.
Let me take a
Jason,
look.
you're good with chat. Jason, take the, I think Lion is asleep.
Lion. But the ladies touch on two important topics. That mind manipulation, that goes a long way. I've been with Gina for 19 years. I've had other relationships before this. I felt almost like maybe I was a toxic person, in a sense, because, I played on those little games that people like to play, but then when I found Gina, found a real one. Sometimes it takes that to find a real one, to finally decide, you know what, I'm tired of playing these games. Let me settle down with this one. It's but so long that you can run around and play these games, but when you find somebody that you actually care about, you would want to stay, and you do things. It was almost out of character for me to, treat Gina as a queen, so I don't know how in depth I want to go with this, but that's basically what it was,
Honestly, not to cut Jason saved me from my toxic relationship. And like he said, I'm not going to go into depth. He
saved you from a toxic relationship.
Right. I'm not going to really get into exactly what happened because I'm not here to bash anyone or,
You got to watch our channel for that one.
Right. I wish it was something that I could speak and, call names, but I'm not going to do that. But Jason said to me one day, like, why do you keep continuing to let this person treat you that way?
Right.
And he said, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you that you need to do better for yourself. And that meant a lot to me.
And to get a little bit more, Gina and I, we were friends before.
Yeah, we were friends.
We got into a relationship.
Right.
It wasn't something that we both rushed into.
Right.
I knew who she was. She knew who I was. I was dealing with people. She was dealing with people too. So
yeah, we had a friendship.
When we decided to say, you know what? I like you, girl. You like me. We made it happen. I could get more into it, but that's for another day. But I understand exactly where you're coming from with being toxic, mind manipulation. I've been there. I've seen it. I've done it. It's not nice. You're putting people's emotions. You're playing with people's emotions. And that's not something I want to do with Gina going forward. We all have a past. We all been through stuff. And sometimes it takes a real one to just stand up and say, this is what I want. This is what we're going to do. And let's make it work because we're all getting older as days go by.
And sometimes for some people, toxic is actually exciting. I have a friend who's in a very toxic relationship in my eyes. And sometimes, when he does these things to her and she tells me, it's almost as if like she gets a kick out of it sometimes, like that bad boy persona, I don't know.
It's good. Gina, hold on, pull up. You say something, bad boy.
Bad boy.
There's some females, like I know for sure one of my aunts, she always you look for a beat down for her to be happy. Like if he doesn't whoop her,
He don't love
He's
her.
not
Right.
happy. He doesn't love. And it's a thing in Africa. I don't know. I've seen here in America also. The girls, they say all men are these and this, but they always go for the wild pit bulls, homeless pit bulls out there. That's the ones they're going for. They want the crazy. They don't want the decent, calm Jason. They want the wild pit bull that is ready to bite and chew anything they see out there.
I used to be like that.
And
I
then
sure was.
they come down and say, "Oh, they're all like this." Do you think there are some women who love toxic men in their lives?
Yes.
Or even
Definitely.
men?
I think a lot of women like a toxic man, but I think when it comes down to it, they also want someone that's also going to respect them. You know, like when Gina and I first got together, she kind of knew I was a toxic man or, you know, this, but I learned from her, you know, how to build, you know, become a man, a better man than what I was, you know, like instead of playing these silly childish games, it'll come to the point where I knew I had to stand up and actually do certain things and not just shy away, like run away from a situation, because it's easy to run instead of handling a situation head on. So it came to that point where I had to, you know, we had to keep it real. We had that conversation and decide on what we're going to do for each other. Like Gina said, she had 2 children. You know, these kids saw certain things, and I wouldn't want to put another child through something like that. So going forward, like she said, we got a 21-year-old. You know, I've been there 19 years. We've been married for 10 years. So we've seen a lot, done a lot, and I've been there, you know, through thick and thin. And it's not easy, but, you know, somehow we make it work, you know?
And because he took the journey with me, so to speak, when I was getting away from my relationship. And he was fully aware of everything I had endured and what I had gone through. So I was very cautious moving forward. You know, I didn't want to live with anybody. I didn't want to bring anybody into my kids' lives.
Right.
You know, I didn't want the responsibility of having to be a caregiver for a man. You know, I wanted us to take care of each other. And Jason was a young man when I met him. So that was also...
I'm still a young man.
Anyway, that was also a concern. That was also a concern for me.
Yeah.
You know, because if you want to be philandering out in the streets, running around, messing with this one and that one, that's absolutely fine. But I don't want any parts of that. So when I did leave that toxic relationship, I was fine and okay with being by myself. You know, if I had never gotten to another relationship again, I was okay with it. Because I had made the decision, like, I'm not doing this anymore. You know, like Toya said, it comes to that point, like the straw that breaks the camel's back.
Yep.
You know, because it starts to affect you mentally, physically, emotionally. You know, it was affecting my job performance, where I would have to make up lies of why I didn't come to work or why I was late, you know, things of that nature. So it really started to break me down as a woman and as a person.
Yeah.
You know, and it's funny because I asked this person one time, once the relationship was over, like, why did you do this to me? You know, I was good to you. And the person replied, because you allowed me to do it.
It's a lot of crazy stories with that.
And that resonated with me so much, like, you allowed me to do it. You allowed me to do it. And I had to sit down and say to myself, you know, I have to take accountability for the part I played in that toxic relationship as well. You know, I forgive. You know, I don't forget, but I'm going to forgive. But I also played a part in that relationship because I did allow it to happen. You know, all of those phone calls you get. I don't know if you experienced that, Toya, when other women are telling you things are going on and you dismiss them. Or, right, you stay out for a couple of days and you don't come back, and you come back with some crazy story. And I know that you were with another woman. You know, so
it happens all over the world.
Right. So I had to sit down and say to myself, well, girl, slap myself in the face. and say
What are you?
all the signs were there. You
All
know?
the red flags were there.
More than the
All
red
the red
flags.
flags.
I'm talking about
Yeah.
the siren from the ambulance was blaring in my face, and I still ignored it because I
Still
loved him.
ignored.
Right, you love somebody, but then I also had to learn, EK and Toya, that loving somebody and being in love with somebody are two different things.
Different things.
They're different.
True.
They're different. You know, love me enough to tell me the truth. Love me enough to be honest with me. Love me enough to let me walk away if you know that you're not treating me good.
Blessing, Big Chill.
I like
Amen.
something you said, Gina. Something you said. When you in a toxic relationship, you become less productive, even in your career.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to school, in other words, a toxic relationship can affect everything that you do.
Everything.
Every aspect of your life.
Every aspect. That's a very good point. It's a very good point. But
King Lion
let's go
silent.
back
He
to,
cannot say anything.
let's say
Lion
King
is saying
Lion. King Lion is just enjoying right now. Let's
Mute
hear
it right
what
now.
King Lion perspective, the king. Hold on, before he comes, let me do this. Before he comes, I want you guys to hear the lion roar. Don't
That's
say
right,
nothing,
Sway.
lion. Hold on, lion. Don't say anything. Don't say anything. This is lion is saying. If you don't do this every Friday, hey, reduce your mic because the lion was roaring too. Reduce your mic, your speakers. The lion was too loud. Was too loud. Just reduce your. Yeah. If you have your head, listen to the lion. When he goes,
What a going, guys? Welcome to EKKI Media. Keep it locked, and this is your girl Latoya Dali.
It's EQ Live every Friday at 7. To miss is to diss. Remember, the King Lion say that.
Big up yourself,
Wow.
lion. Where's
Wow.
lion on the screen there? Big up yourself, lion. All right, go, brother.
Everything just bring back a flashback on my childhood days. I watched my aunt in a toxic relationship. So reason why I'm gonna stay quiet, I'm gonna listen. I ain't never been in one, but I saw where my aunt been, man, where this man take a pliers and just rip off everything off her eye right here, beat her. Oh, trust me. I think no woman should go through that. Neither a man should go through a toxic. It's unhealthy. As people say, when you meet someone, you don't know if they're toxic, yes or no. You have to get to know them. Or some of the time, as Regina said, the sign is there, but we choose to ignore it. We choose to stay because of love. We choose to stay because of greed. We choose to stay because of kids. Until the day when my aunt got out of that relationship. No, I remember before that we were eating KFC with my grandmother and everything. And you know, in the chicken you have a thing called wishbone. Yeah. A wishbone came when she and my grandmother was eating. And my grandmother said, "What do you really want the most with this wishbone before you wish?" And my aunt looked on her mother and said, "To get out of this relationship." And they popped that bone. I never believe in wishes or those things. I was a kid. Certain things where you said to me, I never really believed. And the day after he came and he beat her. Remember, my aunt she have 5 nephews. I was a baby at the time. Baby. I was a little one. And I was the first one to toss a stone. The first one to toss a stone. And when that man pushed me and my cousin here. The house, the whole yard was in an uproar. Five and a half boys take on 1 month just to get my aunt out of a toxic relationship. My aunt cried the whole night. She cried. And during the time she cried, is our 5 neighbor them she have in the room. Me, the 5 and a half, me, the baby right in her hand, and she hold me. Toxic relationship doesn't pay. It doesn't. The manipulating now, that's another thing I don't understand why. No, trust me, I've been manipulated by a woman all the time, but guess what? As again, Gina said, because I chose to. So one time I let myself vulnerable to learn how does a woman think, or how does a woman work, how does a relationship work. So I let myself vulnerable in things, but guess what? Anytime I know I'm going to resort to violence or resort to that, I try myself by giving you your 3 strike. When you get the 3 strike, I gradually slide away. Because I already learned what is life is going to be with you. I already see what life is going to be with you, and what's your turnout. It's either what? Hospital, body bag. I don't want none. When I got my first child, I got my son, I hated my baby mother at that time because I got so pissed off. It almost get toxic because what? I see my friend, I'm single out there and they're enjoying their life now. So I take all the frustration out on her when I got home. And one of the nights, she called me at work, she can't sleep, and I curse her out. Yeah, I literally curse my out. But gradually when I'm coming home, it's like something hit me. Grab something for her to eat. She's hungry. Grab something to eat. When we reach home, she hugged me and said, "How you know?" and so forth. And that's the first time I ever felt my son kick her stomach. Every time when she said the baby I kick, as I touched the stomach, he stopped. But that was a time when I felt my son kick, and that just everything on my hand was open. I'm gonna accept the fact that she's my baby mother, and I accept the fact she's bringing my child, and I accept the fact. So I have to be the man that she wants me to be. If you can't to do that.
Well said, bro.
You don't need to have a relationship with a person. I'm talking here not because I'm king. I'm going emotional. As I said, I'm quiet the whole time listening to Gina, listen to Ike, listen to Lataya. And there I'm just having flashback, and I mean flashback, real flashback, that I can literally feel every pain that my aunt went through. And it's still with me now because my aunt died. Not because of abusive relationship, but my aunt died. And when my aunt died, it was like at the funeral, I have so much flashback, so much things I want to say to my aunt, I get to say to her.
Oh wow, bro! I can't feel your pain, bro. Oh wow.
But the thing is, my aunt relationship taught me a lot. It taught me a lot to respect a woman, That's before I put my hands on a woman. I go out. I say, hey, I go out. I play pool. I relax. When I come back, I say, hey, you want to talk about it? She get angry again. I walk out the house. I play pool. When I come home, I decide I wanted to resolve the problem before I go to bed. It don't make no sense you sleep with a problem. It's only build up more toxic in you. It's like a toxic. It's ready to open to burst a little thing. You say, oh, you snap. Boom, you're gonna hit her. Boom, you're gonna do something. I I do things just to learn. I put myself out there just to learn. I have three kids. My oldest is 21. And that boy he's my world. That boy is my world. My son is my world. I love my daughters. My daughters are 4 kids in one. But my son, if you ever meet my son, you say he's nothing like you. You say he's nothing like you, Mark. Nothing. But he is in his own way. So I don't see why people have to stay in a toxic relationship. I don't see why people have to sue for love, for money. And those things are so much freaking ridiculous. Throw all of them away. We're gonna have a human being that feel pain, that feel hurt. Nothing can bring back those things. Those things can come back in a second, but a toxic, it cannot. It's a thing that lingers with you until you die. You teach your grandkids, your great grand, because you lived it. So you can talk about it. If you didn't live it, you cannot talk about it. Check at age 5, I have me open to abusive relationship. I open to seeing it with my living eye. By the way, it's 2 of my aunt, but the main aunt that got it was Auntie D. Auntie D got that. It was the worst. She got it worse. My other aunt, the other sisters, them got in and get her out of it quick. But my other aunt, my sister, their sister were in Canada and New York and the US. So they couldn't come down at the time when Auntie D was getting the abusive. So who was there were, you see that they were care or they're saying that she wanted to stay in it. You know how family issues go. But as a child watching these things, it wasn't nice. It wasn't nice. When him come in, him want him dinner, what him gonna do? And as me know, as a lickless one, when I tossed the first tone and him turned to me, I saw my aunt hold him on my aunt, hold him finger on my aunt, and my cousins. Oh God, you want to hear it, man? Yeah, you remember board floor? A board floor up. I mean, I try to tell him when my cousin ram him and through the board floor and pull up one of the board them, literally push it and through the board and pull it out and wet him across his face. You can see the blood run off from my cousin's hand. I was like, whoa. When my grandmother come, my grandmother watch a lot, see a lot. So when people can relate to things here, it's not people like saying like it's going to be a joke or something. People relate to because of what they want to share. Gina and Jason will share theirs. I'm going to say, you guys, you let me sit in the background. You guys open up all my wounds that I kept concealed for so many years. And when you open it up, it's like I'm just having a flashback, a panic attack. It's like I'm still saying that my aunt is still alive and I want to just book a ticket to go to Jamaica. When I come to reality, she's no longer here. That's why I stay quiet. She's no longer here. And she was my favorite aunt because she and I born the same month. We share the same month. I can look for a call. My aunt have a deep voice, and she was like, "Mark, you know, come to the yard." That's in Rockford. I was like, "What the hell do you want me for Rockford for?" "Yo, come to the yard." And if I don't go, she would send my cousins for me. Remember, I'm the baby. When my cousins them come for me, I can't cuss them. I have to just look up to them and say, and my mom would say, "Go on with him." When we reach there, enter the room, she said, "Come here, little boy." Sit on her leg, and we talk. I was working at work and I saw a man beating a woman. The woman was big, strapped in and everything, and the man was like this skinny. And I was laughing. I was like, what the hell is going on? And he beat her, and I stay on the top of the road, and I shout out. I said, woman, look on the size of you to the man there. If I'm like you fleeing across the what's wall, and that woman get the courage and take up that man and fleeing across the road, Sliping road. I was just fleeing across the road. I never see fat woman run, but when I see this woman run, I tell the security to open the gate and let her in, and she run and go into the gate. And when she run inside, she can look at me and say, thank you. She never know she could have built up that courage. And I say, it's not, Mr. Babe, it's not me built the courage, it's you did it. No, it's what you're going to do after. She got out of it. She took her 3 kids. She left Orange Street and go up way up in Redis with her family. And she said she start over new. I said, good. She come back down to my workplace. I asked for me by name. I come out. She and her brother them come out. I would talk, and the man said, you get me? I said, yeah. We sit down, we're up on top. So when you can help a person in a toxic relationship, first of all, help yourself. Ask yourself, what will you do in the position? Because you helping a person is just not the same as you doing it physically. Be in mind, a man who's toxic would help out another person who is toxic. Not saying that he is toxic himself. But before you jump and help a person who is toxic, you ask yourself, I'm a toxic person? Yeah, well, you have to ask yourself that. Because you're helping another person. That same person who you help out see you as a toxic person and say, hey, you help me. He's going back to square one. He's going back to square one and help and start back his toxic. So people out there all listening, trust me, if you're in a toxic relationship, you have 2 things. And not to say not to you, to one, run. Run, leave it, leave your clothes, anything, but mainly grab your goddamn kids and run. If there's no kids, left your clothes and run. The word is you can start over. Life doesn't end. Life stop, it start. It stop, it start. It stop, it stop. Its life is whatever you make of it. But if you stop right there and stay in abuse of it, no. And the thing's going, if me did know, if me did, don't say if me did know, get the hell out. Don't stay. You can start over. Look at it. Growing up, every kid drop. When you drop off, mommy and daddy, what they do? They take them up, brush them off. Hey, go again. Drop, take them off, brush them up. That's it. That's the way of life. Life never say if you're stuck in a relationship, stuck in an abusive relationship. Life never tells you for a man to put a hand on you. Life tells you to live happy. Happy. You and that supposed to live happy. Don't get me wrong. There's no such thing as a perfect relationship. It has its up, it has its down. As I said, I've never been in a toxic relationship, but I've been manipulated a lot of times. And I did it because I want to learn about life itself. So I let people do things to me. Then afterwards, I just compute and know what to do. That just in case I can't help anybody, I can say, hey, I was once in that. I can relate to a person. That's how it goes. And I was going to write in the chat. I said, might as well even say it, but Jason, I respect you. You're one of the few real men who step up to the plate. I applaud you for that. If I was close to you, I would come and knock your door and say, hey Gina, I'm taking your husband out for a drink. Don't wait up. Because you don't find no man like that. If they are there, they're either being abusive or them just don't them just only want one night stand and cut. Them don't want a relationship because what? They feel that say staying there, them going to hit, kill, or something. Jason stays. Good. I stayed. Remember, I stayed. 3 beautiful kids. I stayed. I know I didn't stay. I stayed. I got married. Trust me, 15 years and got married. Oh my God. Trust me. Jason Masuya got you when you said 15 years. Trust me. I got you about 16 years. How about that? At least my son keep checking at me. I stop check. And trust me, have it ups, it have its down. And it's good. It's good you can come up here and talk about it. And talk about it and let people see that they are not the only one in it. But we as the individual who are talking about it can relate to it. I thank you once more. EK can take back your floor until it's my time again.
Yeah, bless up, man. Big up. And, you know, it is good to share our stories because when you share your story, you're gonna start or make a difference somebody else's story. Can you guys hear me?
No.
King Lion, I know we've talked since we didn't talk a lot. And for me, if I was to show you my body, starting from my hand, my head, my back, my stomach, my like, all I have is a wound that remind me of my dad. Okay, and that's why when I start talking about this, you know, I don't want to about there. You just took me a place for you. Let me not go. Let me not go because all I got is my dad died when I was 16, and that's when I had to go back home. You know, left home I was 9, and all I have memory of that guy is he's dead. It's still trauma for me. You know, so let me try avoid going back there.
Sorry about that, bro.
Let it out, bro. Let it out.
And hopefully,
like abuse talks every day. Then I would sleep with my mom outside. I'll sleep outside with my mom. Because he always said my dad was a dark scene man. He was darker than now. And I don't look like human. It is what it was. But
it's all right, bro.
It's all right, bro. Okay, bro. If you're doing easy, bro.
Take it easy, one step at a time. That's it.
One step. Yeah, it was hard. As I say, it was hard for me to talk about it because it brings back so much memories. And trust me, it was like I'm still seeing play by play. I have a photogenic memory. And it's hard. It's hard to forget. It's very hard. When a person says something and it struck the nerve and you go back there, it just boom, you can't. At the time before my aunt died, I went to the hospital. My aunt was like, "My nephew, you come." I said, "Yeah, what you want?" She said, "I'm hungry." I would say, "Okay, then I'll go get something." She said, "No." She wanted her baby daddy to go get it. So I said, "Poker. We'll get it fair and so forth and thing." So she asked me, "My nephew, come rub down her back." I was like, "Auntie D, you know you're in the hospital. I'm not going to do that shit in the hospital. I would look like I would look like a pig She said, hey, little boy, come rub them my back. And my aunt dropped down half naked and rub her down. I'm gonna say, auntie, wipe her down. I'm gonna say, auntie, your temperature is high. She said, she told the doctor that her temperature is high. My family, when we have temperature, fever, we get really hot. When we say hot like we can fry an egg on us. And when I feel my aunt, I was like literally I sucked the heat out of her body. I was like, auntie, you're hot. And she said, she tell the nurse them. I said, I tell the nurse, my aunt have a high fever. Oh no, our fever is okay. I'm a person, and it's very, I go from 1 to 10 in a second when it comes to my family. So my temper was going up, and Poker like he was down the corridor, and Poker turn and Poker drop the coconut water and run come and hold me and say, calm down, Mark, calm down. I was like, Poker. All right, Poker said, no. Poker said, I'm still on the way down the corridor and see him just see the devil stand up in on me. Because I was going to knock the nurse out. Seriously, I was literally going to knock her out. And when he hold me, my auntie said, not our last word, she said, Marky, calm. And when she hear that, I just feel a chill, I'm calm. I'm going to go to her and I say, auntie, I tell her, calm yourself, come near you. Come and wipe me down. I'm going to wipe her down. And before I left that day, I said, auntie, what you want? She said, when you come, I need $500. I'm going to need you to get me coconut water and whatsoever them idiots say you want to nurse them. When I got from work, I decided to walk to the hospital. And I was there thinking what we're going to do when she get out, what we want her to do, and so forth. And I didn't have one negative thought going to the hospital. And when I reached the hospital gate and step over, I got goosebump. I'm going to get the goosebump. I shake it off and say, no. And when I walk, you walk, you see people cry. I say everybody cry. So at the first when I come out public, I see so much people cry. When I reach the stairs, they're like, Mark, you can't go in. I say, well, on there. I say, everybody in. She said, no, you can't go in. You want the nurse to have an altercation and the nurse is in there. I said, that's what Mr. calm down. Not knowing that my aunt was dead. So I'm going to take them advice. I'm going to go down. I'm going to stay downstairs, but something I still can't shake. I just feel something in my body. And when I come, my cousin meet me and say, yo, Auntie D gone. I look on them. I get them the things. I say, well, have a nice day. Tell my auntie said me check her tomorrow. I'm going to go home. And them said, when I was going, them said, Marky, Auntie D gone. I say, oh, I laugh. I say, gone. Because there and then I totally refuse that my aunt died. When it hit me, when it hit me is when I sit down in the taxi. Something just drive a nail through my heart. The taxi driver know me, and the taxi driver run everybody out of the car and say, no. I carry one Patrick Gray's son, because Patrick didn't call my mother. Everybody come up, this is an emergency. I'm going to cry, go right to reach the gate. And when mommy come out, I'm say, mommy Donna gone, and mommy say, she know. So people make use of the time when you have on this forsaken man. You don't know when you might go. Make time to help a person as much as you can, especially when those are in a toxic relationship. You may sit and say it's none of your business, but it is your business. You see what's going on. But when that life is taken, you yourself have to sit down and say, if I didn't know.
Oh, King Lion, sorry to cut you, but if you're in a toxic relationship, you have to want to leave before persons can help you, because if you are there and you
She
don't
tried.
want the help, yeah, you can try to help, but that person have to want to leave.
Lati, again, you don't have to tell a person to get out of the relationship. Jesus played smooth. So Jesus played smooth. I help Gina. You can play it smooth. When you go aggressive, you make the person. When you play it smooth, yeah, like a smooth criminal, you get them out with ease. But when you attack anything aggressively, you're not going to get nothing good out of the person. They are going to stay. But smoothly talk to them and
Because
say,
for
hey,
me, actually, my daughter, grandmother, her dad, mom always say, you need to leave, you need to leave. But I did not want to leave. I had to leave for me. Was when I decide like I'm going to leave. So if a person is there, you can only encourage that person, but that person has to
uh,
want to leave too.
uh,
Yeah,
let me ask you something.
yeah.
You said you say you have to leave for you.
So, right,
What is now? What if what if you not come to the task and say, yo, you want to leave?
right. A person
But
only
guess what?
can advise you.
Guess what? It's not saying that your whole, remember, it's your body who's telling the person that you want to leave. That's why they come and talk to you. But your mindset
Nine.
this here is saying, oh, stay. But your body is calling out for help. Please help me. You may come in out the happiest person, but people can see beyond your happiness. People
True.
can see behind your happiness. It's like, okay, now, if Jason come home, and Gina say, Jesus doing everything right, but she says something true off. But Jesus said, I do everything that this woman don't see that depressed or anything. She don't. Gina's gonna say something true off and say, what happened? She's gonna come right to him and say, what happened? Even though he plays his card right, coming into the house, do whatever. So it true up. The other thing, a woman is more, as I said, sensitive, but they have a thing called, I learned this, they have a thing called sixth sense. Trust me, I hate it. But you see that thing called sixth sense with a woman, don't mess with it.
And
Do not
it
mess with
got
that.
instinct.
Real talk.
No,
Yep.
that you see that thing I hate it. But you see that thing called sixth sense, Ike, that is something I'm not play with. When woman say, when them sixth sense kick in, run to the door. I just say, okay, babes, this is what happened. Just spill the guts out and done. Because guess what? They will not stop until they will not stop until that senses go down.
Yeah, because most of the time, 95% of the time,
Yeah.
a female knows what their husband or boyfriend or whatever is doing. And
And
anytime, most of the time, a female asks you why the cup yellow. She know the cup yellow, but she is just trying to see if you are going to speak the truth.
yeah, it's true word.
Yep,
Yes.
yep.
And everything. So I don't play with that sixth sense thing, and it's that anybody who don't feel it true, it's a woman have a sixth sense. We don't. We only have common.
And two, also, I guess in my situation, it wasn't always bad.
Yeah, it wasn't.
It's not always right. And I think that's another reason why people stay in these relationships too, because it's
Yeah.
not always bad. It's not like from the day I met you,
It's bad.
right, it was a horrible relationship. And then, even in a marriage, we've had our trials and tribulations, our ups and downs. And I say to myself sometimes, okay, this is my husband. We can agree to disagree. We're gonna argue. We're gonna have disagreements. We're gonna have fights. I would be lying if I sat up here and said that there was some times when I wanted to walk away from this relationship because he pissed me off,
And vice versa.
right? Or he said something stupid. But I think when it gets to a level of violence and disrespect and just playing out, you peeing on my leg, as I said before, and you tell me that's water, it's time for me to reevaluate the situation. Like King Lion, you said something about, being aggressive with people. I think that aggression for me, when I have friends that are in toxic relationships, is frustration also. You know, I'm
Yeah.
frustrated with you because you're telling me this man is hurting you. You know, you're telling
Okay.
me that he doesn't make you feel good. You know, you're telling me that he's unreliable. You know, you have to call me to borrow money to feed your kids, and he's laying right next to you.
Yeah,
So,
true.
you know, it's time for you to reevaluate that relationship,
Facts.
you know, or just put out on the table exactly what you want. Because I would never say what you expect out of a relationship. You know, when you have expectations, you get disappointments.
True.
That's just me, you know. So I'm gonna tell you what I want, you know, what I don't appreciate.
But she don't always tell me what she
Right. We've always had these conversations, like even when it comes like to
Full,
something as simple
full,
as hanging
hit
out.
what you said. Hit that what you said, you know.
Now I say even when it comes to something as like Jason doesn't hang out a lot, you know. I will go out with girlfriends. So we would have a conversation. Well, what time do you think is reasonable for me to come home? You understand what I mean? And he might
Yeah.
say, you know, like we have a saying in our household: "Don't let the sun catch you coming in here."
Right.
You know,
Yeah,
if you went
that's
out,
true.
you know, you went out, you had a good time. Respect me enough to come in here at a decent hour. So you know,
Right. I bound.
right. So I think that all of these things come into play because I don't think a lot of relationships start off as being toxic. It builds up to that.
Has to.
You know, so you have to have these constant conversations. You know, you're not making me happy. I don't like when you do this. It's plenty of times I told Jason now, like, I don't like the way you be talking to me sometimes. And you know, he'll
Why you cut me off?
oh, right, or he'll sit down and he'll say, well, you know
Why
what,
you
you're
cut me
right.
off?
Because sometimes we can, you know, people say mean and hurtful things. You know?
Yeah.
But we have a mutual relationship and respectful.
Right, but it's all about
moments, so
respect, you know,
it
and
is.
you know, I commend you guys for coming up here and talking about it. You know, you know, these conversations
King
always
Line, that was big for you to even come up here and even talk about
right.
that.
These conversations always take us back. It's like it almost transports you back to that time and place. You know, it's almost like when someone dies. You know, like my sister passed away. If someone mentions her name, automatically I'm taken back to that place of grief. But what helped
True.
me, you know, I don't know if any of you have ever done so, but what helped me was I went to counseling. I did. You know, I went to counseling because I wanted someone to listen to me and also give me advice that didn't know me, that didn't know these, that didn't know the characters in my story, you know, that couldn't have a thought about me. So that helped.
Gina,
Hold
I think
on. Gina, you just said you said something very important, Gina. Because that's very important what you're saying right now. You know, this is a session right here for all of us. See, so we were okay, and then King Lord is talking about things, and then he touched the trigger in my life, trigger that I won't explain to anybody else, but I did know he's like through going through some experience. We know men have ego, we don't talk. You see what I'm saying? So he triggered something that triggered my trigger. And as what the reason why I brought this topic is because I was raised by a mom who endured a lot of pain from the day I was born. I put her on my Facebook. You can see her face all scarred, scars all over her face, lost her front teeth, scars all over her body. This man supposed to be my I have I have no memory of that human being, right? I'm almost I don't want to say my age, but about to celebrate my birthday on next week Friday. I must celebrate my birthday because I always regretted why I was born. My mom is hero. And when you talk about somebody who endured toxic relationship is my mom. Okay. The only aunt I have left alive, she died like 3 months ago. She's the one who used to tell me everything that happened when I was a child. Hey, it's like from the day am I breaking up? I'm breaking up.
Yeah, yes, you are.
I'm breaking up, right?
I hear you good now.
I'm hearing me too.
Oh, all right. All right. Somebody else continue. I tried to fix this. Let me try to fix this. Continue. Somebody else continue. I like to fix it.
But
Right.
Gina, you
Go
say
ahead.
something.
Somebody-
You say something about
Jason, I look
therapists and so forth and thing. I not say strongly. I don't like therapists. I don't like this. I'm not saying it's uncomfortable or anything, but the thought for me is sitting down and telling
I
someone.
agree with you, King Lion.
The thing with sitting down and talking to a person who doesn't know shit about me, who's going to give me advice, be informed. Some of them advice, some of the therapists go through it that can relate to it, but some of them don't. If you find someone who can relate to it, that's fine. But a percentage of them, they don't know nothing. They're only saying off a book or a page. What I'm saying, oh, they're reciting. When I hold everything inside me and everything bundle up, I don't even my wife, I don't open up. She don't know. I don't open up to her that much when it comes to things. I hold it in. I find myself how I cope with it. I find myself thinking about the scenario. How would I do it? How would I solve the problem? More than letting someone telling me how to solve my problem, I try to solve it myself. No, I'm not saying it's a bad or a good thing, but if I'm going to a therapist, I want a therapist. Like for instance, if EK is a therapist, I know that if I would run to him, I can really, I know his background, his childhood, and so forth. But if that child is a therapist, I'm gonna look and she's like, oh, she doesn't want to be a therapist just to help people. No, people who do therapy are people who love it, who've been through the struggle and so forth, can do and relate and can help people. Most of these people don't. They're only going for this.
Yeah, but you know, for me, I was fortunate enough that I had a very good therapist. She was good.
Okay.
And you know, I agree with you. You know, all of us, well, not all of us, but in some jobs, you are conditioned to read from a script. You know, I've counseled a lot in my lifetime. Yeah, I'm serious. You know, I've counseled a lot in my lifetime. And with a lot of my clients, everything that I've ever said to them has been genuine. You know, you self-disclose what you feel like you need to self-disclose.